Okay, so um, driving by a place that I used to live when I first moved to California, and um, my son's in the car. We're going to his basketball practice, and I was like, "That's where I used to live, like right over there." And he's like, how there's a park there. Like, how close? Because we always take the dogs to the park. Sometimes I will drive, even though there's a park close. Sometimes I'll drive 20 minutes to the park because there's a park that they can have a whole world to themselves. And that maybe you've seen it in some of my pictures or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But there is a park 2 blocks away from where I used to live. And it struck me because I've been talking with people on Facebook about where they want to go, like what they want to do, what their bucket list is, what that looks like. I had a Facebook friend post something on Greece that was so amazing, and we were in this conversation back and forth on, going places, Santorini, all these other cool places. Like, where have you been? What have like, what's on your bucket list? But sometimes it's the places that are right next to us. Sometimes it's the focus. And this is what we can control. This is the things that we can actually have some kind of control over, right? Is what are you missing that's right in front of you? What are you missing that's right underneath your nose? When I looked at that, and that park was 2 blocks away from where I used to live, and I never went there. I lived there for a few years, and I never went there. And I had a dog, and I never took the dog there. And I can come up with all kinds of reasons or excuses or whatever, but it's just really struck me as what are the places that are right underneath our nose? Without having to go to Greece, without having to go to, I want to go to Switzerland. My best friend lives in Switzerland. I always talk about going to all these exotic, unbelievable places. But what are the places that are right underneath your nose? I live in Southern California. You can go to the beach. You can literally drive to the beach, or in an hour and a half you could be up in the mountains, and in the winter you can be skiing, or just be up in the mountains and do awesome, unbelievable things up in the mountains at Big Bear, without snow. There's alpine, there's all kinds of cool stuff to do up there, even in the summer. And then you could literally be an hour and a half. I was just out in the desert recovering from COVID. You could be out in the desert, and you can be golfing. Granted, right now in 117 degree heat, but in the winter, in 70 degrees. And, it's all right there underneath your nose. And what it made me realize is, I don't know that I do any of it. Well, I do some of it, and I have a kid, and I want to do more of it. But what are the things right in front of you that you're missing? Are you dreaming about other things? Are you dreaming about being so far away from where you are right now, when you live in this amazing place and all these things are in front of you and all these places are in front of you? What do we control? We don't control our outside world. Although our outside world can be amazing, we control our inside world. The questions that we ask, the focus that we're on. And I can tell you that I lived in that place, and I never focused on the fact that I had this park 2 blocks away. And when my son pointed it out as we were driving by, I was so blown away. I was just so blown away. And it's exactly what I work on with my clients. It's exactly the type of work that I do for myself. Is what do we control? We control our language. We control our search engine. And what I mean by our search engine is that reticular activating system. That means that, so it's like a Google search engine. It's like a YouTube search engine. It's like if you're searching for something, you're not only going to get that or something like that, but you're going to get a lot more like that. You're going to, so I always joke, you see me do another video where I said, if you're searching for cats juggling pizzas, you're going to get videos on cats and jugglers and pizzas, and maybe cats juggling pizzas, or maybe you're going to get, hopefully not pizza people juggling cats, because that would be cruel. But you're going to get all this. You're going to get all this, and you're going to get more and more and more of it, things that are like that. So what do you direct your attention to? What's right in front of you that you're missing? And it might be a relationship. It might be somebody that you love that you've taken for granted. It might be a park that's right around the corner from you that you've taken for granted. It might be something right in front of you. But when you start to ask, what's the gift in this? What can I learn from this? How do I start controlling my language? How do I start controlling what I'm searching for? Then the outside world starts to reflect your inside world. And that old version of you that you might be stuck in, it becomes, well, we're trying to get to that higher self. We're trying to get to that higher place, that higher vibration self. And when we start to notice the things right in front of us, it's not about all the things that are outside of us. It's not about going to Switzerland, which I am going to, by the way. Alice, see you there. It's not about necessarily going to Greece. It's not about going to some other place. It's about how do you feel this thing. And so I think that it's not just about finding a park that's right in front of you or a person that's right in front of you. How do you find the you that's right in front of you? How do you find that inner, how do you find that higher version of you? And in that higher version of you, once you start vibrating at that place, then you get to those places. You get to Greece. You get to go to all these different places. You get to go to all these different things. You have all these experiences because your reflection of reality is starting to, match your inner, unbelievable, higher self. And that's just what I want to share with you today is how do we find what's right in front of us? Not a park, not even a person. How do we find that person in us that is that inner reflection of what we want, that higher self, not the old ego self built on the past that we'll talk about more and more, but how do we get to that place where we are noticing what's in front of us, but reflecting what's in front of us, but also at the same time, once we get that vibration, then it all starts to fall into place. And it's really a cool thing because I've experienced it, and that's what I want for my clients. That's what I want for you. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk more about this. We're going to definitely talk more about this.